The press is very upset with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson for not taking reporters on his plane during this week's trip to Asia. And some of that criticism got personal when the one reporter allowed on Tillerson's plane was our lead panelist, Erin McPike, who covers the White House for Independent Journal Review.
Just ahead, Secretary of State Tillerson makes a crucial trip to Asia, taking just one reporter from a conservative website. So why is he ditching the news media?
Joining us now, Alex Cattell, founder of the Independent Journal Review. Let me start, Alex, with what Erin McPike told me in her first public comments on the controversy. It is a reporter's job to push for interviews and exclusives. Everyone is forgetting that. I asked politely, and they granted my request. Look at Michael Lewis's Vanity Fair piece on Barack Obama. I never said I was part of the State Department press corps, nor did he call himself part of the White House press corps. Everyone is completely misreading the situation, thinking I'm temporarily a state beat reporter. No one really knows Tillerson. If Matt Lauer got an exclusive interview, would they have the same complaint? So, Alex, I think Tillerson should have taken a whole plane full of reporters. But since Erin is the only reporter on that plane, and there's been so much pressure around this, did you change your mind and release the audio and the transcript of her interview with the Secretary as soon as it was transcribed?
So I kind of want to go back to the beginning of the decision, and I think we received a fair share of criticism, and I think that was warranted. We're a newer news organization, and this was a big exclusive for us, and I think we have a situation in the administration where they're now circumventing the press, and they can do that through social media, and they can actually build their own distribution channels. And so
you're saying the criticism was warranted. How?
I think it was. I think people were warranted to be skeptical at first. I think now that the interview is out there and people have had a chance to dig in, I think it is unfair. I think the interview, if you look at it, there's a lot of meaty subjects that are covered, and Erin did a great job. She knocked it out of the park. We did everything we could to be fully transparent with the interview we had. We transcribed it through the night. We put the audio out immediately, and we allowed the press to react however they wanted to react, but we wanted to get the information out there. That's what was really important to us.
In that interview, Tillerson said, I'm not a big press media access person. So she certainly pressed him on that. But was that an audible that you called, that you would put, I mean, this is your exclusive interview. You could have waited till after the trip and published it. Did you decide, because there is so much media interest and criticism here, that let's just put it out there early?
Well, we wanted to get information out as quickly as possible. I think there was a lot of news that was being made throughout the trip. What we did not want to do is to try and to replicate what the press pool, which we supported the idea of the press pool being there. We wanted them to be there, but so we didn't want to try and create an alternative press pool and our own version of that.
Now, several media reports described IJR as a conservative site. That's based on the fact that you're a former Republican operative. 4 years ago, you were the digital director of the National Republican Senatorial Committee. You have others with a background in Republican politics who are helping to support this. Is that an accurate description, though, editorially of what IJR does?
You know, we have an audience that is primarily, it's an underserved community of people that live outside of the major city centers. And I think it's fair to say we have an audience that is majority conservative, but we also have a large independent audience, and we have a large Democratic audience. And we're not trying to introduce bias into our stories. We want to reach that audience and inform them through news experiences. And we think in this case, it was an opportunity to, for the first time, have the Secretary of State on the record to ask really important questions that are going to impact 7 billion people.
Let me jump in, because I got to ask you this. IJR published this week and then retracted a story about Barack Obama having gone to Hawaii before a federal judge in Hawaii blocked temporarily Donald Trump's travel ban. And it seemed to insinuate that maybe there was some collusion there, no evidence that they talked. Was that story a mistake? It
was, and we retracted it immediately. It was unfortunate, the timing especially, and it doesn't meet our standards, and that's why it was taken down. We left the full post up so people could see it, and it's something that we are a newer organization. We're 4 years old, and we're going to make our share of mistakes. And the best thing we can do is own up to them, apologize, and move forward.
I like the way you handle that. In just 20 seconds, do you think some of the criticism of the situation with Erin and IJR is driven by jealousy among some mainstream media types?
No, I don't think so. I think it's primarily people were skeptical. They don't know a lot about our organization. We're newer, and I think now that the interview's out there, people have had a chance to digest the information. Hopefully they can see for themselves.
Well, you've been transparent about it. Very much appreciate you coming on. Alex Cattell, thanks for joining us.